All right, everybody, we have about 1 more minute before we get started. I want to take this last opportunity to invite all of you that are going to be a part of this workshop to please come to the front. Please come to the front. I want to be close to you, and I want you to be close to me. All right, I have some QR codes to give everybody access to the website, but just in case the QR code doesn't work or you may not want to necessarily use it, I'm going to give you the website address that you can access this presentation. So it's going to be T.A. Kyles, which is my name, T.A. Kyles, .wixsite, which is Wix site, and then /Digi, D-I-G-I. I'll just have these QR codes if they work. So the QR codes are what you're supposed to go to your camera, and you go to the QR code, and it's supposed to go to the website, and when you click it, you will have access to it. All right, here we are. It's 2:30. Let's get started. Amen. I want to thank each and every one of you. Amen. I want to thank you all for taking this opportunity and this time, especially my friend, Pastor Ramondo Brady. I want to thank God for your participation, your presence, and I want to get started with prayer. So those of you that are still kind of gathering everything, once you kind of get seated, we're going to open up with prayer and get started. Amen. If you cannot access the website, it's shown right here on the screen. And so you'll be able to see the screen, and at some point you will be able to access the website. So if you go ahead and begin to get into your seats and get ready to get started, we can have prayer and we can move from there. I'm gonna need you. Where's my theme music? All right, Pastor. All right, let us pray. Creative God, we want to pause now to say thank you. Thank you for your creative power, Father, and thank you for your presence. Thank you for this time and this space, that we'll spend this time in this space together, Father. And we pray that you will just move and open up our minds for understanding, open up our hearts to receive, Father. And Lord, just have your way in this workshop. And Father, we will be so mindful to give you the glory, all of the honor, and all of the praise. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. All right. And so first of all, let me just say that I am super, super excited to be here. I would like to say that this is probably one of the most exciting opportunities that I've had, to be able to talk about digital discipleship, to be able to talk about virtual communities. Oh my God, it is super, super exciting for me. And so I'm going to ask you all, if you see me breathe a little bit and you see me get super excited, just work with me, because I'm just trying to stay calm and just trying to maintain my excitement and my passion the best that I can, so that when you leave this workshop, you will really have something to grab hold to, and something that would be worth your time, that you would have spent, this would be time well spent. Amen. I do love talk back. So if you want to talk back to me, I'm a preacher. I don't mind. And I'm going to open up times for you to ask questions. So I will talk a little bit. I will stop. I will give you a chance to ask questions. So you will be able to engage with me, okay? And if you want to say something, clap, shout, ask a question, raise your hand, agree that this is something that you've been doing, or say, wait a minute, go back, let's say that again. That's fine with me, because that is energy and excitement and engagement, and I love that, all right? So can I hear y'all say yeah one time? Yeah. All right, can I hear y'all say yeah one more time? All right, great. I want to thank God for my husband being here today, and all of those of you that are watching virtually. I want to give a shout out to all of our leadership, to thank you for this opportunity. I want to shout out Bishop Darrell B. Starnes Sr., my bishop, and my elder. All of you all, I want to shout you out and say that I love and honor you, all right? I remember the first day that I brought home my first computer. It would be 2000. I had been in the computer lab, Pastor, and had been watching other people get on the computer, but it didn't ever really register to me that I would be able to actually afford one of those computers and be able to take it home, set it up, and work it. Are y'all with me? And so when I finally learned the computer by watching other people, and I finally realized that I could actually buy one of those computers, and my husband went with me and we got home, I stayed up all night long. I did not sleep that whole night. I was on that computer, and the next night I was on that computer, and when I went to work, I was so sleepy I could hardly keep my eyes open because I had been staying up. And 22 years later, I'm still up all night doing something on the computer. I love it. I love the computer because I love technology, because there is always something new to learn. There is always something to do. It's so many amazing ways in which you can use the computer, right? And so it's such a tool for discipleship. It's just so many things about technology that I love. And here I am 22 years later still doing the technology. Now let me say, I consider myself, in terms of introduction as we're moving into the workshop, as 22 years of an instructional designer. And that's because I've always been designing content for discipleship, but I didn't go digital until about a decade ago, right? Because at that time, I didn't know how to link my material to a hyperlink. I didn't know how to send it where people could click the link and they could download stuff. I had content, but I didn't know how to distribute it digitally, worldwide, right? And so now I moved from an instructional designer to a digital leader. Come on, I'm a virtual Christian educator, right? I'm not just a Christian educator, but I'm a global leader now, because not only am I being able to produce material that is for my local church or my local district, but now I am providing content that people can access all over the world. So today I want to share with you some of my experiences. I can't tell you everything I've done in 22 years, but I can give you some things that I believe will help you, all right? I can share my experiences with you. Hopefully I can excite you. Hopefully I can inspire you. Hopefully I can build up your confidence, where some of you may be afraid. Some of you may feel like, well, I can't afford that. It's not that expensive. I thought I couldn't afford a computer till I got one. I thought I couldn't afford a MacBook. I got the brand new one now, the big one. Come on, somebody. I got the real iPhone now. I just had the flip phone. I got the real phone now. You can. Yes, you can. It's not too expensive. You might have to put it on a payment plan, but I promise you it's worth it, because it connects you with people all over the world. All right, so let us begin with an assessment. I'm going to allow you to rate yourself from 1 to 5. 1 means you are not tech savvy at all. All right, if you're a 1, that means, Lord, I don't know nothing about technology. But Number 2 means I do know some things and I can do some things. I'm not a beginner, but I'm not that great. But I do use technology, devices. I do use my iPhone. I do Zoom and stuff. I'm not that great, but I do it. 3 is I'm confident in it. I don't know everything, but I have confidence. If you talk me through it, if you tell me about it, I can do it. 4 means I am trained in it. I'm doing well. I've built virtual communities. I do this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm competent in technology. And 5 means I can really sit down and let you teach this class. 5 means you need to be up here with me, and I probably am going to call you up and let you say something. So all my 1s, raise your hand. All right, okay, everybody in here. Okay, my 2s. Okay, my 3s. Okay. Okay, my 4s. Okay, my 5s. Oh, wow, okay, all 3 of y'all, come on up. All three of my fives come on up, because that means that you really are here probably to support me, or probably you just want some creative ideas, or maybe you thought you could be just inspired and be around some other people that do what you do. So thank you for being here on today. All right, I want to call your attention to the website in which I'm going to do this presentation from. All right, the model that I want to present to you or introduce to you is called the OR model. Are y'all with me? Somebody say all right. All right, it's the OR model. And I want to tell you a little bit about what the OR model is. But before I do that, raise your hand if you click that button right there that says assessment and you've already completed that assessment. Okay, great. So let me see. You know, I hate glasses, so I just take them on and off, and it's crazy, but I do that. I'm going to see so far what I have received in terms of the assessment, and let's see if it's already come to my phone, and it has. All right, so view the summary. Go ahead. Okay, so to launch a virtual community means that you are the leader of it. You started it. You are responsible for managing it and leading it. So have you ever launched a virtual community? Then you're a Zoom host. Right. So a virtual community are the people that you invited and you've gathered together. Zoom may be the platform that your virtual community meets on, but if you are not the person that's responsible for gathering up the people that's on there, then you didn't launch that community. Y'all fives and fours, jump in. Y'all jump in. Am I right? Right, so a virtual community is anybody, a group of people, okay? So you all took the assessment, and I'll be able to tell you more about it later. All right, the OR model for digital discipleship was created by me. The workshop was built based on the reality that there are so many social media apps, multimedia ideas, and digital platforms that can be used for the purpose of digital discipleship. So there is no one way to do it, nor is there one app. You can use this or you can use that, right? No church, no creative, no virtual leader has to do it the same way. All of us are not going to do virtual ministry the same way. It can be done this way or that way. Do y'all agree? My fours and fives, right. Using the letters in the word or, I will talk to you about things using words such as options and reasons, Pastor, opportunities and risk, open-minded and realistic, organized and reach. Do y'all see me there with the OR words? Right. So overwhelmed and refreshed, because how many of you know that building virtual communities can bring a sense of overwhelm, a feeling of being overwhelmed? You're tired. There are people who will be texting you and contacting you 24 hours a day. If you're global, there are people on the other side that are not, it's not night at the same time as it is with you. And if you get addicted to this, you'll be up all night responding to people, sending stuff. People will be texting you and emailing you and engaging with you. And if you don't set up your team and you don't set up your boundaries, you are going to be trying to respond to people 24 hours a day, and it's going to wear you out. So the key to doing virtual ministry effectively is to already have some things set up so that when people start saying, well, what's the number to the Zoom? You go ahead and send them the graphic with the number on there. You already send them the link with the things that they're going to be asking for. The best way to do virtual community is to be prepared and to have everything in place, because people are going to be asking you. Now, what time did you say it start? Now, what's the Zoom information? What's the website? What's the phone number? They're going to constantly be asking you that. So it's your responsibility to keep the access information before people. Always continue to follow up with people. Put the Zoom number on there. There have been people who have said to me, sent messages. I said, okay, everybody meet on Zoom tonight. Well, what if somebody else wants to join? You didn't say, here's the Zoom information, here's the link. Sometimes we act like everybody already knows everything and everybody's going to remember everything. You know how many Zoom calls I get on? If you tell me to to meet you on Zoom at 7. I don't know if this is the right Zoom number, if that's the right Zoom number. I need you to send me the Zoom link, okay? Send me the numbers. And you got to constantly stay on top of it, reminding people. Virtual ministry is a ministry that is competing for the attention of so many different people who are already doing so many different things. So when you invite them to be a part of it, send them a letter. Hey, I'm starting this new women's group. We're going to be meeting on Wednesdays at 7. This is the Zoom call. These are the expectations. This is the outline. This is the book we're going to be using. It's your responsibility to communicate, communicate, communicate. Follow up, follow up, follow up. More information, more information. Be ready. Are y'all with me? Is it already sounds like a lot? Which is why some people just don't want to do it. It can be overwhelming. But that's why you got to have a team of people. So that if somebody says, well, I want to join the church, how do I join? Then you got somebody that sends out the link for people to join. What's the process for people to join? Is it a jot form? Is it an Excel spreadsheet? Do they go to Facebook? Do they go to the website? You've got to direct the traffic of everywhere you want people to go to do everything you want them to do. Am I all right, Pastor? Am I right? Yeah, don't tell me to join something and you ain't even gave me, you've not giving me the link to join it. And then I wasn't sure, did you say 6:30 or 6:45? And then is it Eastern time or Central time? You know, some people are still creating flyers that don't have the time zones on there. Your flyer should say, if this is EST, CST, whatever your time frame is, because when you are inviting people to partake in things virtually, you need to know what the time frame is. I have missed workshops because you said it started at 7. I didn't know you meant 7 Central. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure you put time zones on there. Okay, so far, is there anything that's on your mind? Any questions or thoughts that you have so far as we're going to be moving into the presentation? Anything on your mind? Pastor, you got anything you want to say? All right. So let's. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so the site is going to be T.A. Kyles, which is the first letters of my name and last name, .wixsite, WIXSITE.com /Digi, D-I-G-I. Can somebody help? Okay, thanks. See, that's why I wanted to know who the 4s and the 5s were. Okay, so you've taken the pre-assessment. Okay, so let's click on these dots and let's scroll up and see what you got scrolling. Okay, this is the introduction of who I am, and on this website that you have, there are a lot of things that you'll be able to click. You'll be able to click more information about me. Keep scrolling. You'll be able to see more about the skills that I have and what I have been able to develop in 22 years. Virtual administration is helping people run things virtually, helping them with registration, responding to the emails. Everything that you do administratively, if you do it as a virtual assistant, you're helping people do stuff that they may not have time to do or they may not have the skills to do, all right? Then these are other skills that I've developed: curriculum development, content creation, recruitment and training. Sometimes you have people that are interested in working on your team, but you don't know that, so you need somebody that can get out and recruit people and train them to work with you in digital ministry. All right, keep scrolling. If you go through the website, you will see some of the past projects that I've done, all right? So as someone that's been doing the computer for 22 years and doing virtual communities, I've been able to do a lot of these projects. Doing things virtually is just doing anything that you would do in person, but now you're doing it virtually. Do y'all understand that? Virtually? So I've had virtual vacation Bible school, virtual Sunday school. Any of you had any of these things happen at your church or you led them? What about virtual Lent projects? Have y'all done anything for Lent virtually? Okay. What about virtual women's ministries for children? Do you have any of those that you've started or set up? You do? Okay. What about virtual Sunday school? How many of you get on Sunday school and teach it virtually? How many of you use the literature, the children's literature from the Department of Christian Education? Because we do a Google presentation that you can use. Okay, what about virtual panel discussions, virtual stores? How many of you have an online store where people can come online and purchase any goods or services from you? Y'all missing out. Because anything that you make, if they order it online, you can put it in the mail and send it to them and they can pay you online. How many of you would be interested in having an online store? Okay. All right. Online, virtual Bible studies, virtual celebrations. I've had a birthday party virtually. How many of you had any type of virtual celebrations? It was my mother's birthday, my sister's birthday, my daughter's birthday. I had like 5 or 6 birthdays in September. So I ordered gift cards, sent them to everybody, bought food, let them sit down and eat whoever was by each other. We got online and we all had a birthday party together virtually. So that is some ideas that you can do. And lastly, exploring the metaverse. How many of you have been to the metaverse? You have Oculus? You got Oculus? Meet me in the metaverse. Anybody else? Who doesn't know what the metaverse is? Okay, cool. I see where we're going. All right, so there's a button for that. All right, so we're gonna get to the metaverse because I see right now that a lot of you have not heard of that or haven't been exposed to it, and I have something on the site that you can be exposed to. Okay, keep scrolling. Scroll up. What I wanted to introduce as we keep going is that you need to have a team. So first of all, let me just say, this class is about people who want to launch virtual communities. This class is for people who want to offer something else more from their church on the computer, in the virtual world. This workshop is for people who are over ministries, but you came here today because you want to know how can you really do your ministry more effectively using technology. Are you with me? You are here today in this class possibly because you really want to learn something about, you've been hearing people talk about stuff, but you really wasn't clear on what does that mean? What does that look like? How do I get started with that? Like she said, how do you launch a virtual community? And I'm going to talk about that today. Just give you the steps of how you do it and some things that will help you when you begin to start wanting to launch your virtual ministry. And not only that, if you're an usher, you may want to have usher meetings. You may want to have a deaconess, a prayer ministry with your deacon board. You may want to have something for the district where all of the district pastors get together and do something for Easter. You got Black History Month coming up. You may want to start a virtual community and go over Black History Month, Black History programs. Easter is coming. I want you to start thinking about ministry and ways that you can use technology to do ministry. How can you reach not just the people in your church, but also your family? You have family members all over the world that probably would worship with you and study with you and connect with you if they knew you had a virtual group where they could join it. I have a virtual group for my family, all of my family members all over the world. It's like a family reunion. We have a family group page. Does anybody else have a Facebook page with all your family that they can come and join? Because if you don't, that would be a good idea. Put all your family together. How many of you have done things with your family on Zoom? Great. I taught my grandson a Sunday school lesson virtually in a virtual classroom. Okay, he joined, I joined, and I could click the buttons, watch videos with him. You can connect with your grandchildren using technology. With the apps, on this website that I gave you, there's so many things that you can click, just click stuff. I gave you apps you can use, click that. I gave you all kind of resources that you can click. On this website that you have today, this handout that has all of this information that you can access at any time, 24 hours a day. You can access it when you leave here. You can roll up out your sleep and access it. You can go to the bathroom and do it. In the kitchen while you're cooking, you can click it. Come on, somebody. I love technology because it goes with you everywhere you go. If you want to listen to how many of you do audio, that you're an audio listener and you can put your earphones in and listen? You can listen to prayers, listen to affirmation, listen to songs, listen to sermons. We all have different learning styles, and whether it be just you listening, whether it be you watching through video, whether it be a link where you can click it and read things, there is always things that you can do to use technology for spiritual growth and development. Building up your faith, that's what discipleship is about. Teaching people, go through the book of Luke, and every day you read a chapter, and then you get in the group and say, hey, this is what stood out to me when I read the chapter. Discipleship is about learning, growing, maturing, and accountability. It's about accountability. I can't stand to have virtual groups where people are on there and they don't say nothing the whole time. It's a 6-week group and you ain't said amen, you ain't pushed one emoji, you ain't said nothing. We said put a picture up of you cooking your favorite meal, because Jesus cooked the meal and we want you to cook. When you're trying to be creative and you're trying to say, okay, I have said cash prizes to the first person that posts up a video, and people sometimes will not respond. Why do y'all think that? What do you think are some reasons why that people join virtual groups, but they never say anything the whole time they're in the group? Why? Sometimes, is that my assistant? Okay. Right, go ahead.
I said sometimes we might not know how to go to chat and put that emoji up there for you to see.
Okay, sometimes people don't know how to engage. What else? Have you ever been a part of a group and you didn't say nothing the whole time?
Some people really want to be incognito kind of thing. They want to hear. They ear hustling, but they don't really want to say nothing.
Right. What an interesting thing about virtual ministry is that your virtual presence has to represent you. So that means you're coming to the concert, you're just not coming physically. You're coming to church, but you are sending your virtual representative. And if you come to my church with your virtual presence, you don't clap, you don't say amen, you don't do, it's like you just was there, but you didn't do anything. You didn't contribute. You didn't make a contribution. You can put a heart up there. So that's why it's important for us to have training, because if people don't even know the work that you put into to build that community, they will come right in there, not say nothing, won't access the resources that you spent weeks putting together. You put all these materials in here. They didn't click anything. They didn't download anything. They didn't listen to your audio that you recorded. They didn't say anything. And you asking yourself, is this worth it? Go ahead. They're recording.
Sometimes people hear responses of others and don't think the response that they have is adequate or significant,
Which also goes back to you as a virtual leader. You asked me, how do you launch virtual communities? You set the tone for it. You take the lead. When you first started off, you really should invite people. When I first started off in virtual ministry, I just started clicking to everybody, just putting them in the group, And after a while, I realized, wait a minute, some of these people may not want to be in this group. So I would ask them, do you want to be a part of this amazing group? I'm about to start a group. I'm talking about the book of Genesis, but you got to talk about it with excitement. And the people that wanted to talk about it, they jumped on and we started engaging, but it was still 50 other people I invited that never said anything. And I realized that when you do virtual ministry, you want to invite people, and when they get there, tell them the expectations that you have of them, because they don't know.
And what I was going to say too, Reverend Kyles, is sometimes, and I have found this out by having my family reunion meetings on Zoom, some people need an agenda because they need to have forethought as to what you're going to ask so that they can make sure that what they're saying is addressing what you need.
Oh, now you're talking about a virtual leader. You need to be able to create you a little blog with the agenda on there. 1, 2, 3. These are 3 things we're going to do. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that. And I generally do that. This is different. It's like, okay, I'm trying to teach you on the website. I'm trying to get a feel for you. I'm trying to assess and talk to you. So it's hard for me to do a lot of different things at one time. I tried to do the assessment with you to kind of get a feel of the room because that's important. But there should always be an agenda, whether you're on site or online. Here's the agenda. Put it on the blog, post it. We're going to have prayer. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to talk about these 2 things. We're going to ask questions, and that's going to how we're going to spend our time. Oh, go ahead. I didn't see. Let me step back.
You also need to be consistent.
Oh, I ain't got to that point, but you're right.
Yeah. So if you're posting content and you're inviting people, the first couple times they may not come. But you also need to know that if you're consistent with the content that you're posting, whether it's a Bible study, whether it's a whatever, and word of encouragement, if you're consistent, people will catch the 3rd or the 4th and go back and watch the 1st or the 2nd. And then you'll realize that your virtual community is growing just because of your consistency.
Oh, that's one of the steps that we're going to get to. Because right now we're talking about, and I'm so glad you brought that up because that's true. Right now we're talking about the other end. We're talking about the people that we're leading in these communities. There's some things that you need to be able to do as a leader. You got to be consistent. You need an agenda. You need to set the rules. You need to set the schedule. You need to tell what we're doing. What's the title of this group? Give a mission statement to it. Those are the points that I want to give you. But at the same time, as a leader, you need to be consistent and you need to have a team, which is what I'm getting to right now. Whenever I have done anything creative, I have always, called on these people. Angela Marks is my creative director. She directs all the things that I do for children. Darius Benton, Reverend Dr. Darius Benton is my dean and advisor. Whenever we're doing classes, when I do my hand like this, he's always overseeing to make sure that we are doing things. Because I can't scroll right. I have people like Reverend Kathy Henderson, Dr. Jonathan Counts, people like Dr. R.J. Chandler, like C.R. Rogers, like Dr. McLean, Dr. Parrish, keep rolling. These are people that do this regularly, and so when I call them and say we're going to do a workshop, I can send them the agenda and what we're going to do. We have a brainstorm meeting, we schedule it, and boom, whatever I need to do, one of these people can help me. And then there are other people all through Zion, which I was hoping you get to this point. When you go virtually and you become a global leader, now you can ask this pastor to pray one night, this pastor to pray. You can include people from all over the world. You're not limited anymore. You don't have to do all the prayers, all of the openings, all of the preaching. I have had preachers from all over the world be a part of the things that I'm doing online. From the people that I met in school, from my childhood friends that are pastors now, from my district leaders, everybody. It's amazing, all of the people who I have sent a letter to and said, hey, I need 7 preachers preachers for the Good Friday service. And then I got the highest quality preachers on my service because I'm not afraid to invite people from anywhere to be a part of it. All right? So let's scroll. So the thing about it is that when you invite people, some of the things that I have done was I gave them perks. When I asked people to be a part of my team, I gave them a little list. These are the things that I'm asking for you to do. Here are my expectations, and here's some perks that you will get. All my members, you get a T-shirt, you get a $25 Starbucks card, you get, because I can't pay everybody. I can't pay people all what they're worth. If I got all Good Friday people, I can't pay everybody good for the Good Friday service. So I let them know in advance. Send me your video, and I send you and I send them cards, and I stay in contact with them, and I let them know how much I appreciate them, and I remain connected to them. All right? And the last thing is that I've had global partners, and I want to shout out John Wesley in Washington, D.C., because whatever I have done virtually, they always sign up and send people. So, Pastor, if I don't have nobody but John Wesley, I automatically got 100 people participating because they always send their people and their registration fees to the things that I do. So those are some ideas that you have. Get some of your churches, everybody pay $10 like y'all used to do. All the pastors pay $20 and let all your members come. Start joining together virtually. Put your women's ministry with other people's women's ministry. You're a global leader now. You got global opportunities. It don't even have to just be Zion. You can invite people all over the globe, all over the country, all over the world. I've had people from Africa, from Ghana, one time London. I've had people on my call from London, people from all over the world. You are not limited, okay? Let's pick the bar, scroll to this bar and go to this page. While we're scrolling, is there anything else, any other comments or questions that you may have? So go to another page. You got to go to the scroll bar on the right. Yep, click that. And click that. Yeah. And go to virtual communities. Right there. All right, now we're going to talk about some steps, Pastor. Anything that you want to say before we move on to some of these tips I want to give you to build a virtual community? All right, the first thing I want to say is to build a community, and y'all say, man, the 5s and the 4s in the room, you got to catch a vision. You got to discern a need, and you got to imagine some possibilities. When I created Project Happy, I was going through a depression. I was sad. I was trying to juggle, be a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I was going to school, trying to work. I had so many things on my plate, and I started to give out. I couldn't find my happy. I was falling in depression. I was trying to maintain my ministry. It was just a lot. And I thought to myself, it's got to be some other women out here that's struggling too. And so what I did was that I thought about what I could do for other women. What can we do? We can have phone calls. We can meet up. We can have virtual chats. I started thinking about all of the different things that we could do, and I started putting a plan in writing. I started asking myself, when would I be available to lead this group? Can I do it every other Saturday, every other day? Can I do it once a month? So I put the plan in writing. Then I started communicating with enthusiasm. I was like, girl, I ran across this great book because I've been going through some things. The book is so exciting. The book has really been blessing me, and I want us to all share it. My girlfriend said, I have that book too. My sister-in-law said, I've been had that book. I never did read it. We got together, start reading the book, start doing the video chats, start hanging out with each other every week, and then those were my core group members. And then I assigned the ones that wanted to be leaders. I said to my daughter, I said, won't you create a video to summarize every chapter? Summarize all the things that we did. So Kristen got on there. She was like, in chapter 1, we talked about this and this and that. And then everybody got to respond to the little 3-minute video. Make your video short because people are not going to watch a 30, 45-minute, 1-hour video. That's why whenever I do something, I do a highlight clip and I send out the highlights of something because I know people may not watch the whole hour. Well, then she started being my leader, right? And then she started sharing with other people, and she gave them the details and the expectations, and other people started growing. And then after that, we were consistent, and we were following up with them. Girl, you gonna be there Friday? Yeah. Are you gonna be there? No, I got something to do. Okay, you gonna be there? We stayed on top of it. We were consistent. And this group grew to the point where we had a retreat. I got the pictures on the website. My other girlfriend, she created us some treat bags, and before I knew it, Project Happy was big time as far as I was concerned, because I had moved it, Pastor, from just an idea to a manifestation to a core group. We were meeting and having fun, and to this day, they say, Reverend Kyles, when you gonna do Project Happy again? Girl, I done moved on to another community. I ain't even doing that no more. Then scroll up. I shared resources with them. Give your virtual community all the resources that you can. Give them handouts. Give them links to stuff. Give them videos. Add value to people so that they want to consistently be a part of your group. Am I right, Pastor? If I'm interested in cooking and you put a new recipe on there for pound cake, I'm going to, oh, girl, guess what? She done put a new recipe up there. Or, you can share your life with that group. And another thing about virtual communities is you can make them private. You can get people to register so where you're sharing things, not necessarily with everybody all over the internet, because risk is another word that I use with my model. There are people that would jump in your chat and curse, put all kinds of profanity in there. They will post all kind of websites that's not even related to the chat. You gotta have security measures in place, right? Right? All right, now, let me get to the last one. Mind the metrics. See if your group is growing. Is it 3 women? Now it's 5 women. Now it's 10 women. Who's watching your videos? What your metrics are? And the last thing is lead your community to action. What we did was we all got together and launched a retreat. Then we left the retreat and we started doing stuff. And we stayed active and we stayed involved. We started doing things until the group no longer existed and I didn't run it anymore. I stopped being consistent. I got tired and I moved on to another group. I should have assigned a leader and let that leader keep the group going. But we'll come back to it. All right, Hoop, what you got to say? Go ahead.
We did a book talk with our youth through virtual community, and it was a book that our bishop had us reading during Spiritual Emphasis Week a couple of years ago. It was We Don't Do It That Way Here.
Okay.
And and I started with the core, our VICYC officers, and I just want to speak to the consistency piece, especially with the young people. We got off to a good start, and then the holidays came in, and we let it go for a while, and then the next thing we let it go for a little while longer, and now I've got to try and bring them back
and you lost
together.
you lost the momentum.
We lost the momentum, but the consistency was, and when we started it, might have not been the best time to start.
Yep.
But we're going to go back to it because several of them took a chapter, and they were the ones leading the book talk. So it's a wonderful way to do small group communities.
It is it is.
But
and sometimes you got to do
it.
Sometimes you got to think in advance. Okay, it's about to be the holidays. Let me create 2 videos or 1 video or 1 handout. And over the holidays, read this 1 handout and just post your thoughts about it. Yeah. So give people grace because you know they ain't gonna be sitting there on the group during Thanksgiving, Christmas. So just tell them for Christmas, watch 1 video or post something that you're doing for Christmas. Engage them in something that they're already doing. And then when January pops back up, comes back around, then you all can start doing something in January. Are y'all with me? Anybody okay? Right. So in other words, you see this videographer right here, this guy right here, he works at Livingstone College, public relations. So you may not can afford somebody like him, but if you had somebody that could just take the video and send it to somebody like me or somebody else that can edit it, or you take the video and then send it to an editor. You got to think about what can I do? What can I do? What can I delegate? How can I still make this work? I'm not a videographer, but I did video. Who can I give this video coverage to that can put some, that can make it nice? Go ahead. That's not working. It's not a. Yep. I know. Can we get this mic on? What's going on with that mic? Okay, 20 minutes. Good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there are websites that you can use.
He gonna give you another one.
There's other websites that you can use like Fiverr. They have opportunities. There you go. It's a different one. So there's a website called Fiverr where you can use Fiverr, Fiverr. You can use that. There are people who do the exact same thing that I do, and they can edit things for you, send them files. It's a lot of different opportunities on there. So you may have people who are not necessarily local, but you need someone to do it. There's free apps. There are paid apps. The easiest thing to, yes, ma'am.
So So here, stay with me.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me just say this. That's why the OR model lets you know that you can use this or that. So I have some links on my website that you can click to, but it's not what he said, which to me speaks to the OR model. Because a lot of times when people hear an app, they be like, give me that app. Then they look up, oh, I want to get that app. And you're chasing apps that basically do the same thing. It's just a different app. It's a different name. They're competitive. So this one trying to get you to sign up with that one, all of them are competitive. So if you try to jump on every app that you hear somebody else using, you'll be on that app, that app, that app, or that app. So you got to try to find an app that works for you and stick with that app, or move up to one with more functionality that may be a more reasonable cost. But that should be the only way that you should. Yep, so use Fiverr, but then use the one that I have up there for you too. Go ahead, I want you to say something.
Also, you just need to realize this, is that even outside of these settings, you can go to YouTube. Yeah. And a lot of people like myself have learned how to do things. You can Google certain things in YouTube. And then YouTube has classes that you can take free, that you can go through every.
Okay, what I want is somebody else to do it for me. Okay. Because I can't do it all. I'm writing, creating the material, and some things I need to, like send them out to other people.
Yes, ma'am. So for you, yes, ma'am. So for you, you may be the one that send it off, but for me, I'm not that one. For me, I'm the one who wants to learn how to do it, because sending it off costs money. And therefore, if it costs money, I'm trying to maximize whatever I'm doing. So therefore, if you're trying to maximize it, you realize that there are free things out there that when you need it, let's say that there's some content out there that you want to get out, that you made that night, that you want to get out that night, and you send it off to Fever, or you send it off to whomever, then you're waiting on them to get back around to you, and you may have missed your window. So there are certain things that are so easy as point and click, drag, cut, copy, paste, and then post. That's real simple. One thing is if you have a phone, understanding that if you're creating a video, like she said, simply turning your phone to the side and then letting that video will show on a screen and not be this little rectangle cut off where it's like that. You'll be able to do that. And those are all the things that you can learn on your own. Just patiently doing it on your own, taking it step by step while you're just trying to grow your community.
That's right. Okay, we don't have much time left. Listen, I want y'all to scroll to one more page. I'm going to scroll this one up, and then we're going to go to the Digi Church page. So scroll that up. See, so stop right there. This was one community that I created to talk about the LGBTQIA community. And that was a group where people all got together and talked about, how do we do ministry to this community? What do we need to learn about this community? What are their needs? What are we saying that may be turning them off? What can we say that may turn them on? That was important for us to have a private virtual community with people that felt comfortable sharing. So you were talking about people not feeling comfortable. In this group, we had 2 marriages that had same sex, and they were able to share with us their thoughts and help us understand some things that they probably weren't going to do at church or in a different setting. Are y'all with me? So these are the reasons why you can set up these virtual communities and some things that you can do. Okay, let's go to Digi Church right quick. Click the Digi Church page. Go to the toolbar. Yep, and go to Digi Church. Okay. And then go all the way down to Digi Church. Okay, there you go. Now, somebody asked me about the Digi Churches, so we're going to close out talking about this. On this website, I gave you all of these resources about what different Digi Churches look like. I want y'all to click the Bitmoji Church. There's a pastor out of Florida that created it. You would want to click that and watch that video and watch and listen to the things that he talked about in terms of how to create Don't click it, but let them, yeah. See, well, there you go. That's the Bitmoji Church. So when you get a chance, watch this video. It's amazing. It's a church. It's a digital church. And when she asked me, well, if we're on Zoom, are we a digital church? You just a virtual community streaming on Zoom. You're not a digital church, because a Digi church has everything a regular church has, only they do it digitally. You have digital pastors, digital ushers, digital giving. You know, everything that you do, you would do it online. Okay, let's get out of that and go to the other part. Okay, so that is fascinating. So those are different books and YouTube videos that you can watch about the metaverse, about planning a digital church. Scroll up. These are some of the images that you will see when you start talking about a digital ministry. You're talking about people worshiping right there over that computer. Do y'all see that? You see people that are at different shops. You see where that lady is drinking coffee. She's having church right there at the coffee shop. If you scroll through there, you'll see the images of what it may look like for people to engage digitally. Yep, there you go. Look at him. Look at this team of people, this family of people. Look at people raising up their hands, asking questions digitally over the computer. Keep scrolling. Look at all of these images. This is what you will see when you start talking about digital ministry. This is people giving online, right? This is what online giving looks like. So there's a lot to learn about Digi Church. I gave you a link where it says Metaverse Alt Space. When you go to the website, click that, and that will show you the app that people use to go into the metaverse and to attend things on the metaverse. I gave you a gaming app. If you click where it says Discord, if you have people in your house that are gamers, that's the app that you would want to use for youth. I did my youth vacation Bible school on Discord. They all joined in, and we did everything on Discord. Where you see church online, if you click it, you will see my church. Okay? If you go to virtual classroom, you will see virtual classroom for children. I gave y'all a lot of stuff on this website. I really just came to talk to y'all and see y'all face to face and to tell you, when you get back, click this website. I got links for everything on there. I have books that you can read, videos you can watch, pictures that you can see, and all kind of tips on how you start a virtual community. Now scroll up a little bit. One of the questions that I wanted to ask was, who will plant the first AME Zion digital or metaverse church? Who's going to plant the first one? Oh, there you go. You got one right there in the bag. You going to do it? Amen. She feel it and you feel it. Is it already being built? Is your metaverse church being built, or your digital church? She's working on that vision. Oh, well, I want to jump in line too then. I want to have me a Digi church, and I look to have that, okay? So we're coming down to the end of time. My husband said, babe, how are you going to cover all of that in an hour? I said, I don't know. It's a lot to cover. I wanted to talk to you about how do you launch a virtual ministry. Then I wanted to talk to you about how important it is for you to engage in a virtual ministry. People get tired if you don't say nothing. You don't have to go into a long explanation. Just say, I agree, I don't agree, or I really appreciate it today. Oh, you did a great job. I love the resources. Say something, a little emoji, some hearts or something. Because some of y'all look like y'all don't be saying nothing. Y'all just look like y'all just watching. Oh, that was good. Click it on off. The person don't even know you was on there.
I want you to talk a little bit about why it's so important now moving forward, because of the condition of the world now and how we're always going to have things like coronavirus and other things that are existing now, and we're never moving out of this. Just talk a little bit about it. One of
the presenters, or the resources that I use, and that's in the book that you'll read, the pastor said what really moved him is when his member said, Pastor, when are we going to go back to church? And when that member asked that pastor that, he said he was just flabbergasted. What do you mean? We never stopped having church. We never stop having church because we are the church. The church is not the building. And in the book that I gave you, the pastor talks about how Jesus and us is the church, and how as long as we are coming together, we're having church. He talked about discipleship and how he goes out and brings in this, evangelizes, brings in people, and then takes them from the process of just watching it to joining it, committing to it, trained in it. Now they're leading it, and there are plenty digital pastors that are launching digital churches all over because they took people from being interested in technology to engaging to committing to actually being trained to now they're leading. Are you with me? So what he's saying is that we're not going back. If you're one of the ones that's asking yourself, when are we going back to the church that we had? We're never going back. Never, never, never. You may never have a choir again. You may never do the stuff that you may never go through that full program. Okay, everybody stand. Okay, Glory Patri. Okay, everybody sit down. Okay, Apostles' Creed. I read the Apostles' Creed with the words on there. I post it, and you can sit up there and listen to me read it from the screen with the words on there. You know, you've got to shift your mindset. How can we engage people virtually? What can we do that will make them want to be a part of it? Are our resources catchy? My title, look, in January, I'm launching a Bible study called The Bible Scroll. I'm going to invite y'all to come and dance with me because we're going to do the Bible Scroll. And I'm branding it to where people can scroll through the Bible. We're going to be dancing through Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. It's going to be a movement lesson. And I'm going to be inviting people, come on, do the Bible Scroll. I might even try to put a little move together and put it on TikTok. You know, they would come on, do the Bible Scroll. Hey, do the Bible Scroll. Do the Bible Scroll. Come on now. They'll be just doing it. I'm like, okay, Genesis, Exodus. Then I might shout out a book of the Bible, and you shout out what you got out of Leviticus. What's your favorite text in Psalm? What's your favorite? Hey, what did you get out of Revelations? I'm just going to take people through the whole Bible during the month of January. We're going to dance and scroll through the whole thing. Because you have to make it catchy. Don't be up there talking about, our next Bible study class is going to be on how to be holy. Ain't nobody coming. They're not coming. But if you say the holy rollers going to get together and we're going to holy roll for Jesus, you might get somebody. And then your graphics are important. I see people, you trying to make your own flyer. You can't make your own flyer. You need to get somebody to make you a flyer, because some of y'all still making flowers in Word. You got on that Bible study, and you ain't got Bible spell right. You know, then we don't know what time zone you're on. You ain't put the right Zoom number on there. People trying to call in, you ain't even got the right Zoom number on there. Come on now. It's got to be engaging. One of my team members, you just saw his picture on the screen, is here today. Stand up. I want them to see you, Dr. Chandler. And let me tell you, come on, I know you didn't want to do this. Dr. Chandler is on part of my team. He is our director of engagement. He always leads us in what we call Kahoot. Have y'all ever heard of Kahoot? Yeah. So whenever we're on the screen and people start kind of getting a little bored and you kind of getting tired, I say, okay, we're going to call on Dr. R.J. Chandler. Then he'll jump in, hi, everybody. And everybody like, okay, wake up. All right, we're going to do Kahoot. Come on, come on, come on. Next thing you know, we signed up for Kahoot. We're engaging, we're competing, and he'll be like, coming up in the first place, coming up to the second place. Come on, Star is in third place. I mean, he talked through the whole thing, get you so excited. You need excitement. You can't stream a service on Zoom the same way you would have had it when you was in service and think people want to sit there and watch a whole hour of you doing what you was already doing. You gotta do it differently. You got to do it creatively. I have played music instrumentals over the computer. I know that the waves are different, so if we try to sing a congregational hymn, it's not going to all be on the same wavelength. So basically, I put everybody on mute and I sing it. And then I tell everybody, make your home into a sanctuary and sing it together. And then I mute everybody and I sing. You know, it's a lot of things. So what I do too is when I was doing my Zoom worship service, just like the responsive reading, I broke it up into families. This family did the response, this family did the other. So people were broken into sections, and somebody led, somebody respond. Okay, next Sunday, y'all lead. Because, you know, everybody can't lead it at the same time because of the sound, you know, would be different, okay? All right, we're closing on out. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead. Okay, 4 minutes. Any other questions or comments? I'm sharing the mic now. Who wants to? Have you gotten any new ideas about virtual ministry? Do you plan to launch a virtual ministry?
I think at this point, we will have to have leadership in place that is going to push us and support us when we plant a digital church, because tradition is still have a firm grip right now. And a digital church, as we're looking at it, everything online, not hybrid, not coming to the sanctuary once a month, but everything from worship to offer is done virtually, and you're doing it from where you are. So if we don't have that support,
you're gonna need a digital presiding elder and a digital bishop. I'm come back around. Do you need to speak to what she just said, or can we go back around? Okay, come on.
Can I just say, one way to start that is to have another service. So you start out planning churches by usually having a second service at a church that's already established. So if you want to start a new church, you might, with your existing pastor, let's do a 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock worship. That is your digital ministry.
But why? Because we could pre-record it and have it to play anytime.
But what I'm saying is, I heard her say that she would need support, pastoral, organizational support. And so one way to start that would be another service.
Okay, come on, Pastor.
Okay.
We got 1 more minute. Come on. Let's do it.
Go ahead, man.
I agree with the lady in the lilac or purple, whatever. We're struggling with leadership who is basically waiting for everyone to come back. They're waiting for people to come back to the pews. And honestly, I'm going to be transparent. There is a struggle in my church, and our young adults are leaving because the powers that be want to keep people with pews in the church, and they don't understand. It's over. As the sign said, the people aren't coming back, but Jesus is.
So I want to offer this too. Having a digital community and digital church oftentimes doesn't take starting a new church. So what I've come to understand at my church is that I have more virtual members at my church than I do at my church. The metrics say at my church, which I had to prove to my members when we started to invest in it, because there was some pushback on the investment that we took in it. Right? There was a whole lot of pushback in the investment of cameras. There was a whole lot of pushback in the investment of no pulpit at my church. There was a whole lot of pushback in the investment of software and the computer. Until 7 months after we invested, and they realized that we take in 3 times the amount of money online than we do in a Sunday morning offering. And that's legit, and that's proven. It has been presented at multiple quarterly conferences because we keep it separate. So we take in 3 times the amount of money online from people who never come to my church, who don't live anywhere near Salisbury, North Carolina, who haven't ever stepped foot into Seals Creek and Zion Church, because we have intentionally created a virtual community. And then we take in virtual members.
Intentionally. All right, that's our time. All right, but if you gain confidence, has anybody here gained a little more confidence from when you say, oh, there you go? Have you gained a stronger interest? Right. So in other words, my post-assessment shows that we've been able to accomplish something really great in here. Some of you are going to be ready to Thank you for coming. And thank you for help leading. Thank you for being here.
Dr. Kyles,
Yep.
before you end, we had one question from the virtual community.
Okay.
They wanted to know what book you were referencing.
Okay, the book that I'm referencing is on the page that says Digi Church. It's under a resource link. Go scroll up close, yeah, right there. Where you see it says Digi Church, how the church can change the digital world, that's the book. Okay. It's on Amazon, click it. And hello to my virtual community. How many people do we have online?
We have 53.
53 people online. Do y'all see that? 53 people. That's more people online than it is in the room. Tell them to shout out their names and where they're from. Who's on there? Y'all got to go. Okay, we're leaving because we got another class. Yeah, we holding. Who's on there?
You want names or you want regions?
You just shout out names, whatever they post.
California, Somerville, Palmetto Conference, New York City District, Columbus Chapel, D.C., John Wesley, D.C. is in the house, Durham in New York.
That's my people, John Wesley. Okay, cool. Cool. Do y'all see that? Right. All right. We're closing out, y'all. We can have another opportunity to do this. But I tried to create, Dr. Chandler, a website with everything on there, with books and videos and resources. If you click all through that, you'll have more than even what I said today. And again, I've not done this by website, and it's kind of a little different, but at least I feel that we have spent time well together, because I see people now, see it in your eyes. Y'all about to go start a virtual community, and that's what it's all about. Thank you again. Would y'all give our sound people a hand? Would you give our pastors here a hand? Preston's gone, everybody that has helped. Thank you for your presence today. I appreciate you. My information is on there too, so click that link and it'll come up to my email, all right? Here you go. Thank you. Thank you so much for your physical presence and your virtual presence. Thank you.